Alright guys, another month has passed and let's talk about my monthly watches. And I feel like I've watched a good amount, but it's weird. I feel like I watched a good amount, but of movies I've really wanted to see. So let's get started. Basket Case 2. And I already did a review on this one. Pretty fun movie. I like this not as much as the first Basket Case, but I think that it's solid in its own right. But I really liked Basket Case 3 more. The Bling Ring, which is a A24 movie directed by Sofia Coppola about these girls and this guy who are stealing famous celebrities like jewelry and fashion stuff. And it's not really a movie for me, but I had to see it because it's an A24 movie. A24 makes great movies. This one might be my least favorite A24 movie I've seen. Like, it's fine. Sofia Coppola directs it, and it's a fine movie, but it's not amazing. And again, it's not subject matter that I care for, but I had to see it just to say I had, because I really do like A24's films. Extraction. Really, really boring, but with some good stunt work. Children of the Corn. Revelations. Children of the Corn 7. And I think I've seen almost every Children of the Corn movie now, except for Genesis and Runaway, which are the two most recent ones. But Revelation is interesting because I could not stand Children of the Corn 5 and 6. I thought they both were so terrible. And the other Children of the Corns I can watch. 5 and 6 I could not stand. And then 7, this one I think is bad like those, but it's more entertaining and more fun as opposed to being just incredibly boring or dull like 5 and 6 were for me. The Wicker Man original. Did a review on this. Really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really well done movie. Really effective. Social Network. This is a movie that it's weird. I just never saw. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. Train to Busan. Really excited that I got to see this one. This one was really good. Really fun. The zombies are scary as hell. And I think that the movie has a great dramatic core to it. And I feel like it just does a good job of elevating itself more than a typical horror movie. I think it did a really good job of that, and I really did enjoy it a lot. Saturday the 14th. Now, this one was pretty bad. This one came out in 1980. It's not anything like a Friday the 13th spoof. It's more about ghosts like in the house. But it's not like spoofing any movie really. It's just kind of being a pretty lame spoof movie. Like it doesn't really spoof a lot of stuff, but it's just a lame trying to be scary movie, but not. And it's really just not that interesting. I think this one was really just not very good. Basket Case 3, and this one I have not done a review on yet as of this video, but I'm going to review it, and I think that this one is really fun and really enjoyable, and I think I like it more than 2. And 2 I liked a lot. Dead Calm. This one was really enjoyable. It's weird because this has Sam Neill, Nicole Kidman, and Billy Zane, and I really thought that this movie, on the basis of the acting, is really good. This is a good thriller, and I think it's effective, and I think it works a lot. And the acting is so good in this movie by all three of the leads. I think all three of them are fantastic. And I think that the movie just does a really good job of being creepy and really a mystery, but being a mystery where these characters have to think quickly and logically about stuff. And I really like this one a lot. Return to Horror High. I didn't really like this one, unfortunately. I thought that it's weird. It felt pretty lame. Like, there wasn't a lot that I really enjoyed about Return to Horror High. Like, it's funny to see, like, George Clooney in this movie, because he's not in any horror after this, I'm assuming. I know he did Return of the Killer Tomatoes, which I have not seen, but I know he's in that. Or Attack. It's either Attack or Return. I haven't seen either of them, which I'm going to, but I haven't seen them yet. But it's funny seeing George Clooney in a horror movie. Like, it's interesting seeing him doing his roots. And the movie is just a weird, like, it's like a self-aware movie, but it's not very interesting. It wasn't very fun. I never was invested or interested watching this in terms of entertainment value. I was not very entertained, unfortunately, which sucks, but, we move on. Fun with Dick and Jane. Okay, this one was really lame. This one is on Netflix, and that's how I watched it. I feel like it belongs there because this movie, Jim Carrey is awesome in a lot of movies, but in Tia Leone, I think I haven't seen her in anything like amazing, but I think that if she probably has good enough material, she could be good. But both of these actors are too good for this movie. This movie is so lame, in my opinion. It's Jim Carrey and Tia Leone, and they're a couple, and they run into money trouble, so they start like robbing people. But it's really like weirdly quirky, but in a way where it's not really for the sake of the movie for me. It's quirky and weird because on the basis of, look, it's Jim Carrey, look, it's Tia Leone, look, they're trying to be funny, but I feel like they're not really that funny in this movie. It's really sad because I really do like Jim Carrey a lot. And Tia Leone, whatever, I've seen her in stuff and she's not bad, but I think that both of these actors are too good for this. It's just such a weird, and it's weird watching this now for the first time because I really grew up watching Jim Carrey movies, and it's weird watching this one. And I'm so glad I didn't watch this one whenever it came out because I would have been mostly disappointed, I'm assuming. Maybe I would have liked it a little more younger, but maybe not. And this is also weird too because this movie is just, again, it's a lot of jokes that aren't very funny to me. And I think that there's a lot of moments where they're like missed opportunities. Like they have a montage of like them robbing people, and there's a scene that was amped up in the trailers and in the pictures of the movie where it's Jim Carrey dressed as a girl and Tia Leone dressed up as a guy. And in the movie, it's like you see them dressed up as her as a guy, him as a girl. They make one look at the camera, and then it's over. It's like, it's jokes like that where I'm like, wow, you have a missed opportunity. You could have made that funny. I just didn't find this one very funny. The Lodge, this one was really, really freaking good. Like, this is terrifying. And again, I did a review on this one as well, but quick thoughts, just really, really enjoyed how dark and dreadful and horrible this movie is, but it's really great in that fact. Deep Blue Sea, this one is really lame. Or not lame, I guess. It's whatever. It's not that great, but it's not that bad either. It's just another shark movie. And I know a lot of people, maybe not a lot of people put this movie higher above other shark movies because usually there's just the movie Jaws and that's it in terms of like great shark movies. But in terms of entertaining shark movies, I hear this one is up there. And I could see that. I did think that some of this movie was entertaining, but I also thought some of this movie was just whatever. Like, it had some fun moments. Like, I liked the ending. I thought the ending was fun. I liked Samuel L. Jackson in that scene that I'm not going to spoil, but you'll probably know what I'm talking about. And I think that the movie, it is fun in some ways, but in some ways, too, it's just, like, really whatever. It's not very memorable to me, besides a few key moments. Big Driver. This is a Lifetime TV movie, apparently. After I watched the movie, it said Lifetime. And it's based on a Stephen King book about this woman who gets raped and killed, but she doesn't actually die, and she comes back for revenge against this truck driver, Big Driver. And it's weird because I didn't know it was a Lifetime movie until I finished the movie, and I was like, this doesn't feel like that much of a Lifetime movie at all. It does feel like a TV movie, like in terms of its not quality of the writing or acting, but in quality of just how it looks. It looks like it's a movie on TV, and so I could see where it's a Lifetime movie in that regard. But I thought that this was fine. Like, I thought this was fun. It's really goofy and really weird, but it's got some good serious moments too. It's a really weird mixed bag, but I enjoyed Big Driver. The Wrong Missy, which again is that David Spade Netflix movie where he encounters two Missies and then he finds the bad Missy, the one who's crazy as opposed to the good one, and they go on a vacation together. And of course they do this in most of these Happy Madison films, Adam Sandler movies. So they go on vacation and she just does random wacky stuff. And again, it's not one of those movies, because I reviewed this, it's not one of those movies that I hated, but I don't think it's that good. Like, I think there's a couple moments where I kind of chuckled with her specifically. Like, she was kind of funny sometimes, but the movie overall is just really forgettable. It's whatever to me. Return of the Living Dead Part 2. I finally got to see Return of the Living Dead 2. I'm so excited because I did really love the first one on rewatch. And watching Return of the Living Dead Part 2, I think that this is a really fun, solid sequel. It's not the first movie, and it's trying not to be. It's trying to be like just a continuation, but a really goofy one. Like, but it's not as great as the first one. But I think that this is fun. I think that it has all the actors that come back are really fun, and it's nice showing their distinctions between being what they were in the first movie to this one. And I just liked how this one was, again, entertaining. It wasn't, again, as entertaining as the first one, but it was still solid. Anaconda. Now, this was fun. This one, I enjoyed Anaconda. It was bad, but it was a fun, bad movie. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, with the CG animation of the Anaconda, with how quick it goes, with how crazy Jon Voight is in this movie. Jon Voight is ridiculous. There's so many shots of him making weird-ass looks at people, like that scene with Jennifer Lopez where she's putting her hair up or something, and he just looks over and he's like just a real, like, his teeth out. It looks so weird. And Jon Voight just talks in a weird accent. You don't even understand what he's saying. And I watched this on VHS, so I have no idea what he said because there's no subtitles on VHS. But this one was just such a fun, ridiculous time. Like, it's not a good movie, but I think it's entertaining, and I enjoyed it. Scoob. Now, I did not enjoy Scoob, and I reviewed this one. Scoob is a movie that is building a universe because Warner Brothers did try to do that with other things like DC and didn't work, so they're just making their own solo movies. And Scoob is trying to make a Hanna-Barbera universe, which I guess in concept could work, but I just did not care. I didn't think the jokes were funny in this. The animation was good. The animation was good, but I didn't really care for the acting I didn't care for the acting, or I didn't care for anything else. Like, I felt like this movie was so pointless and just so lame. Like, it was a lame movie, and I'm sad to say, because I was actually excited to see Scoob. Return of the Living Dead Part 3. Now, this one, again, like the second one, is a really solid continuation. Like, these movies, and I hear 4 and 5 do this too. Like, these are continuations, but all in the loosest sense. They're just connected because they're in the world. It's kind of like the Night of the Living Dead movies, George Romero's movies, where they just are connected in the world, but they're not really about story connection. They're just in this world. And I do think that's cool. And Return of the Living Dead 3 is interesting because it's like this dark, romantic, like, horror movie, and I think that it works really well. I think the acting's good. I think that the effects are good. I think that it's a unique horror movie. Like, I want to see it again, and Brian Usna does a good job of directing this. He makes this movie feel like it's a movie that, I don't want to say you haven't seen before, but I feel like you haven't really seen this one before, if that makes sense. Like, I think it's a fascinating sequel, and I did like it. I am excited to watch it again because I bought the Vestron Blu-ray, but pretty good. Red Eye. Now, this is Wes Craven's movie from 2005 with Rachel McAdams and Cillian Murphy. And again, I never saw this one. Really, really like this one. This was a really fun thriller. This surprised me. I'm not thinking of logic in this movie because I know there's moments where you're going to be like, oh, logic, yeah, don't think about that in this movie. But this was so entertaining. Like, I really enjoyed this a lot. I really liked the performances from both Rachel McAdams and Cillian Murphy. Like, they both really, really work. Like, I think that their acting really shows how good actors they are in this movie. Like, I really do like them in this movie. They work very well. The movie's intense, and it's just a fun time. Like, I had such a fun time watching this one. It's so enjoyable. Eggshells. Eggshells is Tobe Hooper's first movie, which is a 60s psychedelic movie about people who just encounter weird shit. Like, it's very drug induced and very 70s. Like, it's just a weird movie, and I don't know how to explain it really. It's just a movie you have to see. Like, it's on YouTube for free. Had to see this just because it's Tobe Hooper's first film. Had to watch it. I didn't love it, but I think that it's got some cool visuals, and I think that it's a cool first movie for him because he did this movie, and then he did a documentary, and then he did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And this movie feels like it could be in that universe with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, just with the camera they used. I don't know if it's the same camera, but these two movies look like they're similar in how they're shot because they're so low budget. And I think that it was an interesting experimental movie. Like, I I didn't mind it. I thought it was all right. Dark Ride. Now this one was interesting. It's interesting, but there's not much to really say about it. It's just a typical slasher, but I did enjoy the gore in this a lot. I thought it was fun, and I thought that it's it's a movie where the ending kind of made it for me because I like the reveal of like who the killer was. I thought that was good. I thought that worked, and not really much else to say. Like it's solid. I enjoyed it. P2, really love P2. This one was really awesome. Wow, this is a great little thriller. Like this is terrifying, and again, like Red Eye, it's just such a scary movie. Like it works very well with bringing this sense of like this character is never gonna make it out and make it away from Wes Bentley. Like this girl is just in deep shit, like trying to get out of this place where he has every means to keep her locked up in here, and it is so effective. And it really genuinely got me in a couple times where I was just like, oh my god, this is brutal and just so well done. And I really loved the ending. I really loved the journey of being this thrilling movie. Like it's such a good suspenseful movie. I really enjoyed P2. The Lovebirds did a review on it because it was a recent movie. Camila Nanjiani, Issa Rae, not that great. It's just whatever. There's a couple funny moments, but it's really forgettable. It's not the kind of movie that I like, but it's just forgettable. Watch The Big Sick instead. The Big Sick is a better movie with Camille Nanjiani. And then we come to my last movie, which is Killjoy. And I thought that this movie was such trash. Like there were a couple moments where I laughed. Like I did have a couple moments of it being funny. Like I did laugh a couple times. Whenever Killjoy is on screen, I'm like, okay, this is whatever, it's fine. Like I'm entertained moderately with Killjoy. Everything else with how low budget this movie is, and I usually try not to point out low budget, that means it's bad, but man, this is bad in a way where it just wasn't entertaining to me. Like maybe if I see this again I might like it more, but the stuff without Killjoy is just such a dreadful thing to get through. Like all these actors are horrible, and I mean I'm not trying to single people out, but man, I didn't like any of the acting. It's so bad, and I know that this is a full moon movie and it's trying not to be that kind of movie, like be a good movie, quote unquote. But even movies like the Puppet Masters, like the first like 4 or 5, it's like you can at least tell that those have a little bit of a budget or something that to me is entertaining. And I just didn't find this entertaining besides the Killjoy bits, which were kind of fun. But everything else, all the bad actors, all the lines they gave, all of the dramatic Hallmark way they talk to each other, all of the porn like sex scenes, like the way that these characters are in this movie are just so bad and just so uninteresting. But the Killjoy parts are kind of fun, but it's not good. It's pretty terrible, and I know people like it, and that's fine. Like it all you want. This is just how I feel about it. But I hear that the sequels get more entertaining and more better, so I'm excited to see the rest of the sequels because I didn't like this first one, but that might be different with the sequels. So of course I'm not gonna just dismiss it because I didn't like the first one. I'm gonna of course watch the other ones because I'm going to. I'm not gonna dismiss them easily like that. But yeah, Killjoy was pretty bad. And that is all my movies this month. Thank you guys for watching. Hey guys, if you like this video, consider checking out my other content. I review a majority of films that are pretty recent and also older films and mostly horror as well. Horror is my favorite genre, so I expect a lot of horror. And check out all my links down below. I have a link to Patreon. I have a link to Instagram, link to Twitter, link to my Facebook group, Horror Enthusiast 101, and to my own personal Facebook page, CDR Movie Reviews. And thank you for anybody who watched this video. Thanks for watching.